Well, Simon, another draw on Tuesday, but there does seem a sense at the minute that performances are starting to improve game by game. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were really happy with the level of performance on Tuesday, and I think it was a performance that probably warranted 3 points. Obviously, we were really disappointed with the fashion of the goal that was ruled out. A perfectly good goal, but we have to be. We have to be positive about what was produced, and I probably think, as I said, we've done enough to win the game. And that was really pleasing, and hopefully, we can take that into Saturday's game and draw on what was good and look to build on what needs to be slightly better.
Obviously, there's a lot of focus at the minute about the lack of goals in the team, but I suppose the important thing to bear in mind is that we are still creating a lot of big chances in games. Is it just a case at the minute of needing one to fly in and then the floodgates open a little bit?
Well, they say that you earn your luck, so we just got to keep working hard. We got to keep doing the things that are important to us as a group. And as you're right to point out, these games, they're not games where we haven't had chances. They're not games that we couldn't walk off and say, we could have won that match. So I'm not too concerned about that. Of course, look, we need results, and we're going to win games by scoring goals, but. We also have to concentrate on the aspects of the performance which are good. We have to be objective about that, and we have to look at the quality of the chances we're creating and the controllables. We can't control bad decisions from referees and linesmen. We can't, and we can't rely on that. So we can't rely on one goal. We want to score 2 and 3, but everyone does. So we've really just got to focus on ourselves. Continue to work as hard as we can on the things we want to be good at, and I'm sure that we are around the corner from some really positive results.
You've spoken a few times in the past about the need to draw on the strength of the squad between now and the end of the season, and I think Harvey Gilmore's probably a good example of that in recent weeks. He's come out of the cold a little bit, and he seemed to really take his chance well on Tuesday.
Yeah, I thought Harvey did well, and you're right, we are going to need the squad. We are going to be stretched, and that since I've been in, I've made sure I've used the squad, and that everyone wants that shirt. Everyone wants to be in there, and so we need to apply balance to that and make sure that we're rotating it efficiently and making sure their energy levels on the pitch going into every game are where they need to be. And so absolutely delighted for Harvey the other day to get his opportunity, and I thought he took it well, and obviously be really disappointed with the goal that was scratched off.
I mean, that must send a real positive message to the rest of the squad, though, when you look at Harvey's situation and he's come back into the team, the message that if you train well, you'll get your chance to play for the team. Yeah,
that's right, and I must say everyone's trained well. I've been absolutely delighted with the players' attitude. I mentioned it the other day and I'd reinforce it now. The lads' commitment level has been excellent. No one's perfect. It's very difficult to put across perfect displays, and people make mistakes, and it won't be ultimately that we focus on, which dictates your place in the team. It will be the desire to be part of a great team. It'll be one individual at times making way for another, and us having an absolute respect around that, because ultimately the cause is that we want to win every game and we need everyone to do it. And some weeks the players the personnel will look slightly different, but I have no doubt that the commitment of the group as a whole and that spirit and aura, if you like, will remain the same. Since you've come in, we've already seen quite a few different formations used in games. I think we've seen 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. Is that just a case of still figuring out the best way to get the best out of this team, or is it just a benefit of having so many options in the squad at the minute? I mean, look, I think you can talk about systems and different, how different systems can operate. I think it's really important that we have some really solid principles in what we do. So no matter what system we play, whether it's a 3-5-2, a 4-4-2, a 4-2-3-1, that we're setting out to be great at certain principles. That might be being really solid in the last third of the pitch. That might be how we defend our box. That might be the speed in which we move the ball about, and the areas that we get the ball into. So I don't place too much emphasis on necessarily systems. It's more about our principles of play, and I think that's what will be important moving forwards. One big plus point this week has been the sight of Mark Kitchen back in training. Is he in contention for Saturday, or does that maybe come too soon for him? Yeah, we just got to assess how Kitch is going. It's great to see him back. He's been an important player this season, so really nice to see him back out on the training pitch, and I'm sure he's enjoying being back out on the grass. So that's just one we've got to monitor.
We've also had the two new lads from Chorley. They've obviously had a week of training now, and it adds real attacking options, depth to the squad in those attacking areas. What sort of qualities do you feel they'll bring to the team?
Yeah, well, with Harry and Elliot, they've obviously the obvious thing is that they add depth, to the group. Should we have such a situation, who knows, with COVID or anything like that, I think it's important at the minute that you have depth in numbers, but also their qualities as well. I mean, Harry's proven this year in the FA Cup run with Chorley that he can cause decent level of defence problems, and Elliot's someone who is probably someone who's going to try and unlock the door at times. So it's a mixture of their qualities and also the circumstances that we need that depth for the minute with the games coming so thick and fast. So great to have them options, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit.
Obviously, looking ahead to Saturday, I think when we last played Chesterfield, they were a very different proposition. They were in the relegation zone, struggling. They're coming into this one flying at the minute. And
yeah, they are.
What do you make of the work that James Rowe's done there since he came in?
Yeah, credit to them. Credit to James, credit to what they're doing down there. They've really made a strong push lately in terms of their results and their form. So look, no mistake about it. It's a game we're going to have to be at our best. And you're right to point out they've strengthened. It probably is a different fixture to the one that was previous. So, we've got to assess that on its merits, and business as normal in terms of it's the next game and it's the one we want to go and win.
And just finally, I mean, I know it gets talked about a lot at the minute, but with this game between two big clubs with a lot of Football League history, just how big a miss are the fans for a game like this?
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. And I think, and I know personally, listen, I've been in football my whole life, and I was a supporter as a kid. So I can imagine, for some people, it'll be a really painful experience in the minute. Football is their escape. Football is their whole life. And, I really feel for the football world and football supporters because, it's a massive part of our society, and it's a massive part of our country's history. So for the supporters not to be able to get out and support their team and, have that respite from, day-to-day life, I really feel for people in the minute. And it is a real miss, I think, for the players as well, that energy, them flat moments in the game that come up and down the country at any level. The supporters can really, get that little bit more out of the players at times, and just that energy, that nervous energy, walking out for a game to a roar, is different to walking out to an empty stadium. So, it's important that we maintain our own levels of energy and desire, which are there. They've been there absolutely, but there's nothing like having a stadium full of supporters, and I can't wait for the Stockport County fans to be allowed back in. Really can't.
It's really well said. Simon, thanks for your time.
No, pleasure.